Hiya and welcome to Change for Life. And this is hypnotherapy coaching, which is a hybrid of hypnotherapy and coaching, obviously. um, and thank you so much for being here, for giving your time to learning this information that is going to change your life. Because if you're here, it means that you are ready for change, that it is time for change for you. And what we're going to be talking about today is really to take you from where you are now to where you want to be, or even more profoundly, who you are now to who you are always meant to be. And I'm not going to waste time because there's a lot of slides and I could go off on tangents and I could talk for hours about this stuff because I am so excited about it. I really am. It's something that changed my life and I now use it to help other people change their lives. So this is really important to me. I am so glad you're here. And, well, let's get started. So, I am going to be talking to you about... Oh my goodness, now the slides. Honestly, how my clients finally decided that they'd had enough. First of all, how I decided that I'd had enough. And then how my clients decided they'd had enough. And it's an incredible process. It really is. And I'm hoping that you will get so much out of this. And what did we have enough of? We had enough of feeling like, am I good enough? Nothing I do is good enough. Have you ever felt like that? Have you ever felt so defeated? Like everything I touch falls apart. My work, my relationships, my whole damn life. Enough of feeling wrong. Not just that there's something wrong with us, but that we are wrong. That we're stuck, unable to do the things that they and I needed to do to move on in life. Feeling like something somehow is wrong inside of us, of them, and that they'll never be able to be happy like everyone else seems to be. Feeling like they are on their own and that they are their own worst enemy. That those struggles with self-doubt, self-blame and unworthiness are robbing them of the abundant success and joy that they see others creating effortlessly. And maybe you've had enough. Enough of feeling like the past is still holding you back and that nothing you do will ever fill the hole that is inside of you. Enough of feeling overwhelmed, misunderstood, anxious, depressed, fearful, like an imposter in your own damn life. Enough of feeling like you're living the wrong life, that you're trapped in the nightmare version of the life that you know you could and should have, if only you were somehow different. And maybe you've had enough of feeling like you're not enough. No matter how much you achieve, it's never enough because you're trying to fill a hole that's inside of you with outside things. And you've had enough of feeling disconnected from life. Enough of feeling like you've been on autopilot for far too long and that things are perilously close to disaster. Because you know deep inside, just as my clients do and did, that life has more to offer than feeling like this all day, every day. And you want to have more of it. More love, more fun, more life in your life. And I want you to imagine going from being filled with negativity, of experiencing a heavy sense of depression and dread most days. Imagine going from that to fully valuing life and seeing the good in everything, no matter what it is. Seeing that good. Amelia, come on, babe. Sorry about this. Amelia, come on. There's nobody there. Come on, babe. And I want you to also imagine going from struggling with self-doubt, struggling with limiting beliefs and unrealised success, as a sense of quiet desperation sinks into your body, that maybe this is all life is. Imagine going from that to experiencing freedom, to live life on your terms, to fully embody the values that you hold dear, and to feel empowered in every relationship and in every situation. I want you to imagine going from feeling that heavy sense of dread, the realization that you're not living up to the person that you could be, the person that you want to be. I want you to imagine going from that to releasing it, releasing that disempowering fight, flight, freeze response from your mind, and replacing it with a subconscious magnetism for personal growth, for intuition, for awareness and happiness. And you can do all that without having to settle for a comfort zone of mediocrity, a comfort zone of familiarity, while avoiding the unknown due to a fear of failure and change. Whoops. And I want you to think about being able to make those changes in your life without having to spend years in therapy, reliving your past and reminiscing over every hurt and pain and misdeed. Because I know from past experience that isn't fun. And imagine being able to make that change in your life without fearing that this year will be a repeat of last year, and the one before that, and the one before that, and the one before that. And none of them were all that good. But you can change things. And that's what we're here for today. You can do it without having to keep working harder, achieving more, doing more, building bigger, and yet the emptiness grows. You can do it without having to take medications that are making you feel no better, or maybe even worse. And you can do it without having to bury your feelings in harmful addictions, or in self-medication, in distraction and avoidance and risk-taking. I want you to picture yourself in the future, contemplating the life that you've lived to date. And I want you to imagine looking back over that life and seeing yourself having lived a life filled with the freedom to choose what you wanted most, living connected with your life purpose, content with everything you did, knowing that you always lived up to your full potential, and you always showed up as your best self. I want you to picture yourself looking back over those years, and you notice how you gained the confidence and the sense of empowerment and personal power that you always wanted. Notice how you regained your trust in yourself, and how you were inspired to take action, that you were open to new opportunities and possibilities that you couldn't even dream of before. I want you to imagine that you stepped into your empowered self, one that is powerful, confident, joyful, enthusiastic, fearless and real. Instead of blocking your power, you finally got round to lighting it up. And in this imagination, in your imagination and in this imagining, you see that you regained control of your self-image, and you developed an unshakable confidence that helps you cut through unwanted distractions so that you're able to focus on your priorities. And this is possible for you, even if you're stuck in a life that's become a series of obligations and unhealthy habits, and it feels like a vicious cycle that you just can't seem to break out of. It's still possible for you. And even if you're caught up in the day to day, not pausing to consider what you need or want, and that you just keep going and you keep on doing, and every day you feel like a robot, feeling the same every single day, and the joy just gets sucked out of your life. Even if you're in a relationship that's falling apart, or you feel again and again to eat healthy food, and your weight makes it feel like you're trapped inside your own body, or you just can't seem to get out of that career rut, and you just can't find the motivation to do the thing that you love to do. Even if you're playing it small, if you're staying frozen in fear, struggling with self-doubt, staying invisible in your relationships, in your business, and in your life in general, even if you're actively resisting taking the action that you need to, and you're instead doing busy work that doesn't make any impact or progress on your goals, and even if you're procrastinating and you're getting overwhelmed and worse, when you do make any kind of progress, you sabotage yourself. And even if you undo whatever headway you made, change is still possible. Because you've probably already tried these things. You've tried criticizing yourself. You've tried bullying yourself. You've tried pulling yourself together and giving yourself a good talking to. And maybe you've tried going to your doctor for a little help and support. And maybe you're trying to just keep going, hoping that things will get better. And they'll get better after you lose the weight, or after you get your next bonus, or after you take a holiday. Or you're drinking that bit more, or you're taking a little hit of something to keep you going, or you're spending more on stuff that you don't need, or you're gambling your money away. And maybe you're burying how you feel deep inside of you, and you're getting more and more angry, more and more alienated, more isolated, depressed, feeling more and more alone. And maybe you've already tried different kinds of therapy, even hypnotherapy before. And maybe your search for something to make you feel better is actually making you feel even worse. Now, I want you to meet one of my clients. And this was an outwardly successful, accomplished man who had a very high-flying career. But he was unable to keep his relationships healthy because of his fear of intimacy. He had an addiction to sex and pornography, and he had repressed inner rage, anger and inner rage that he didn't even know he had. EF was looking to a solution to his problem, and he found me. And together we worked through his issues using my unique Change for Life hypnotherapy coaching program. And now, EF is embarking on a new relationship that's based on complete honesty and true intimacy. Honesty at a level that I have never seen before. And he was voluntarily celibate for months, which was completely unlike him. Not only that, but he's happier than he's been in his entire life. He likes the man he is now, and he looks so much better, I have to say. He is more engaged at his work, and he's even looking at community projects to help men who were stuck in that addiction cycle just like him. In his own words, EF says, "I would not be here had you not guided and coached me along the way. Maybe for the first time ever I have felt happy with who I am and worthy of admiration and even love. I have shaken off the shackles of domineering parents and ill-advised coping skills. I've stood on my feet and said to those who know that I am happy with the guy I am. I am not happy with whom I was, but I'm not going to be punished or punish myself any longer. The wisdom you have brought, the tools you have taught me, have become armoury to manage and cope with days when things are tough, and better still, to make good days better." Now, isn't that fantastic? I I love the transformation that this work brings to people. And my promise to you is this. If you've had enough of how things are, I'll show you how to make changes so that life happens for you rather than to you. Because you're here and listening to me right now, and that means that you need help. You've sought me out. You need something in your life to change, whatever it is. Otherwise you wouldn't be here, right? So as a gift for you, if you stay to the end of this webinar, and I promise you I will make it worth your while, I'm going to share with you my #1 neuro training tool. And it is amazing. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's simple. Because you know yourself, changing the way you think, the way you feel, the way you behave isn't easy, but it is simple. Oh, here we go. It's a deceptively simple yet incredibly powerful brain training that changes how you think. And when you change your thinking, you change your life. We know that, right? Here's the thing. People all around you are stuck and have been for years. Now, there's lots of different statistics about this, but 70% of people regularly feel like they're not good enough. I would actually say that it's probably higher than that, but we'll go with 70. Not good enough. Isn't that awful? An estimated 8% of people reach the goals they set. Do you know what that means? That means that 92% don't reach the goals that they set. And I know this for a fact. 97% of people who lose weight gain it back again. How many people do you know who stay in a dead-end job or an unfulfilling relationship because they can't seem to get it together to make the change they need in life? Too many, right? We all know people who stay in that relationship or that job or in that house or in that particular situation, whatever it is, because they've gotten used to it and it's not bad enough to make them change. If you don't take charge of your own healing, you're going to stay stuck, you're going to stay sad, and you're going to stay in pain for the rest of your life. And you know it, don't you? So first, before we get into any more, I want to introduce myself to you, because I think you need to know a little bit about who I am and why I'm qualified to talk to you about this. Otherwise, I'm just another online expert that you can't relate to, and that's not who I am. My name is Cynthia Curry, and that's an awful photograph, but I never get my photo taken, so I don't have any good photos. So there, that's the picture of me, but it's of me a couple of years ago. My hair's everything's changed. Anyway, I'm a certified life coach. I am a trained hypnotherapist. In fact, I'm trained in 3 different hypnotherapy methods. I'm a sanomentologist, which really is just another form of hypnotherapy. And I qualified as an EFT practitioner. And, oh God, there's so many more modalities. And I'm here to tell you that none of that actually matters. It really doesn't. What does matter is that I was once where you are, looking for a solution to something when I couldn't even explain to myself what was wrong. And I've lived through my share of tough life lessons. In my life, I've healed my experience of deep depression, crippling self-doubt, as well as crippling debt, a deep distrust of men and relationships, caused really by the effects of childhood trauma and all the other effects of childhood trauma. And I've struggled my whole life with money. Honestly, I was a disaster with money. When I had a great day job in corporate, and I had travelled the world, doing $1 million business for my employer, and I was earning a great wage, and I was always broke. I don't know if you can relate to that, but I had huge credit card bills. I was living from month to month. I was able to pay the mortgage. I made sure I was able to pay my bills, but I never had anything left over. There was no savings. There was nothing, because I was spending it faster than it was coming in. And when I set up in business for myself, I barely scraped by at first. It was, oh boy, did I have issues with my money paradigms. And again, I know where all of those came from. And I was overweight for too many years, battling with yo-yo. In fact, from I was a child, let's be honest, from I was a child, I was either overweight or skinny, and I was either overweight looking to be skinny or skinny struggling to stay skinny. It was never easy, and it was always on my mind. And I would do that over and over again, that whole diet thing, going from thin to fat and back again, over and over and over, until I just gave up and I stayed fat for years. My health was all over the place too, because for years, and especially when I was in corporate, I ate junk food and lived on Diet Coke and chocolate. For breakfast, I would have a can of Diet Coke. It was horrendous. I ended up with chronic health conditions, and they got worse and worse as the years passed. I couldn't hold a relationship together to save my life either. I was either with men who reminded me of my bullying father, or, and I am ashamed to admit this, I was with lovely sweet men that I would bully in turn. And I hated that nothing worked out for me. Not my relationships, not my career, not my finances, nothing. Eventually, not at the early stages of my life, but eventually, everything I touched seemed to turn to dust, no matter how hard I worked. So I started seeking answers to why my life was working out like this. Because I am a nice person, and I work hard, and I'm at least as smart as the people that I saw doing better than me. And I was as good looking as the people I saw meeting new partners and getting married multiple times when I couldn't even get a date. I didn't understand why I was so stuck in every area of my life. I'm just going to have a drink because I've been talking for a bit there. Oh, I have some tea on the side, which is lovely. So I started therapy. I started counselling. I went for homeopathy for the various illnesses that I was starting to suffer from. I tried EFT and tapping. I went to hypnotherapy. I had psychic clearings. I had Reiki. Oh God, you name it, and I tried it. I read every book on, well, maybe not every book because there's so many, but I read a lot of books on personal development, on success habits, the laws of the universe. There was nothing that was too wacky nor too straight for me not to read. I read everything. I learned loads. Of course I did. And some of the modalities that I tried were great. And they made a difference, and they lifted my spirits, and they improved my health. But only for a while. Nothing got to the root of the issue and made me feel better in a way that lasted. But I went back to hypnotherapy because I knew that my screwed up life was caused by my screwed up thinking. But I couldn't see how to clear it. I trained as a hypnotherapist because I thought I'd help myself by understanding hypnotherapy better, and then I'd be able to help others as well. But while there was some soothing of the issues and a few breakthrough moments, it didn't change my thinking at a fundamental level. I kept looking and looking and looking, and I did transcendental meditation, and while I did find some peace and some healing through that as well, it wasn't the whole answer, and I went back to searching. I took another hypnotherapy course, and this one was so different to my first training. A different universe opened up that was full of possibilities. And throughout the training, I paired up with another therapist, and together we practiced on each other over and over again. And yet there was still no breakthrough. But then, like a mad scientist, I love this slide. Like a mad scientist, I started putting together everything I knew, all I had learned, and I used it all on myself day by day, week by week. And life started getting better. Everything started to get better. My business improved, my finances improved, and little by little, my health and body healed. Now, this program was a lifetime in the making. It didn't happen overnight, and it was birthed from years of my personal research, from trialing every modality that I found, from training in psychotherapy, from reading every psychology book that I could get, and getting certified in 3 different hypnotherapy models. And it's taken heartache, and it's taken ill health, and it's taken financial crisis to create. And I know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that if you're not getting the results you want in life, if you have the kind of life where you wake up every day and wonder where you've gone wrong, then something needs to change. And this could be the change you need. I don't want you to have to go through what I went through. Trust me. I don't want anybody to go through what I went through. I don't want you spending tens of thousands on books, on training, on courses, on certifications. I don't want you slogging through those years. All those years of hit and miss and trial and error. I don't want you to have to do that. I did all that, so you don't have to. So the question is, do you really want to create a life of joy and ease and expansion? Aren't those words marvellous? They just make you feel good. Joy, ease, expansion. Imagine a life filled with joy, ease and expansion. A life where you feel confident and comfortable, taking action and making an impact where you want to make an impact. I want you to meet another one of my clients. Now, Em is a retired school teacher, a writer and artist, and she was profoundly depressed when she came to see me. She was filled with deep negativity about life. She never went out, she never socialised, and she often spent the day in bed. Now, Em and I went through my 6-week program using my unique hypnotherapy coaching protocols and the neuro training tools that I call thought whispering. Yeah, that's just me. And in her own words, Em says, the therapy helped change my thinking and behaviour at my subconscious level, which was a new awareness for me. Having previously suffered from depression, I am now in a much better place. You've enabled me to make life much happier. Thanks to you, Cynthia, and your excellent therapy, I am now taking one day at a time and being thankful for life. I love that, and I love Em, and I love the changes that she's made in her life. It's amazing. More tea. So, stop doing what doesn't work. What made you look for someone like me? What made you just decide to sit through this webinar? To seek help? What made you do that is that you've had enough of whatever it is that's causing you pain. You've tried everything else and nothing's worked. Life hasn't changed and you haven't changed. Here's what I know to be true, based on over 15 years of practicing and teaching personal transformation. You can't use your conscious mind to create change. You can't outthink your problems, and you can't run from them, because your real barriers to a successful life are hidden in your subconscious. Ignoring your what doesn't work is ignoring your early family paradigm, which set in place the unconsciously learned rules that you still live by. You need to understand how the interpretations you made as a child still hold true in a part of your mind, and they still direct your behaviour. There's a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old or a 2-year-old in charge of your life. And what doesn't work is suppressing, denying, resisting, avoiding, distraction, displacement, trying not to feel your feelings. That doesn't work. That's just going to keep you stuck and feeling worse and worse. Can you stop doing the things that harm you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? You're trying to make yourself feel better with eating or drinking or sex or gambling or shopping or whatever, but that ends up making your life worse. Then you do more of it to make that discomfort go away. Then the real pain starts and it becomes a vicious cycle you can't break. That's at least what happened to me. And that's a quote from Ben Affleck, an interview that he gave to the New York Times earlier in 2020. What we need to do is dive deep into your mind and the thought patterns and models of reality that shape your life. You must rewrite your mind's programming. And when we're speaking of the mind, I want you to know that it is multiple layers deep. There are old, ill-serving paradigms that exist in the deeper layers of your mind that must be deleted and overwritten with new, empowering models that fully align with your goals and your desires. That's how you free yourself from the shackles of the past and from the worries of the future. That's how you show up as the best version of you in the only time that truly matters, right now. And believe me when I tell you that this saved my life. My old way of thinking was creating life-threatening health conditions that was the first and foremost reason I started this work on myself. Because I had too much I still want to do in this world. And I am sure you do too. But not only that, it gave me purpose again. And the energy to share what I learned and put it all together to help other people. Because this is not just hypnotherapy. This is hypnotherapy coaching. And this is Change for Life, the Self-Restorer. Your thinking creates your behaviour. And then your actions create your results. When you change your thinking, you change your life. And the change starts deep in your subconscious, where the blueprints for your life reside. And that's where we will work together to make the changes you want to show up in your life. We will work in your subconscious. And we will be working with your superconscious. And not only that, we'll be working with your conscious thinking too. We are going to triple whammy your mind. Because here's how it works. We're rewriting your mind's programming with a combination of groundbreaking transformational hypnotherapy, neurocoaching, and they change your emotional patterns of thinking and behaving, effectively rewiring your brain to gain the peace, the growth, and the success that you deserve. We all deserve. So in the first session, we create the right circumstances for change. And we create the circumstances for allowing that change to happen at the deepest levels of your mind. This is foundational clearing of old programming. And we prime the subconscious for healing, release, and learning new habits of behaviours that are more useful to you, more supportive to you. And we use non-invasive, content-free hypnosis. Now what that means is that you don't have to revisit and talk about any of your specific experiences. They stay where they belong, in the past. We set the intention for healing, and then we direct your superconscious mind to do its work in changing your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and your behaviour. During this first session, you will also have the first of your inner journeys, the dreamscape. This is amazing. You will love this. And in the dreamscape, we actually ask your superconscious to take you on an amazing healing journey that is absolutely unique to you. And every journey you take will be different. And every one will be highly relevant to your life and what you need right now. Because nobody and nothing knows what you need more than you. During the second session, we will deepen the release process. And we will continue that clearing of old programming. And we insert in its place self-love, self-compassion, empathy, confidence, all those wonderful feelings that we want to have flowing through our veins. And we will also run a process of completing unfinished business, freeing up so much emotional, mental and physical energy for you, because our brain gets so tied up in unfinished business, and it gets stuck there worrying around and around and around, thinking, oh, I should do this and I should do that. We're going to release all of that, and you will experience your second dreamscape, which will continue the healing, the learning and the self-love activation. Doesn't that sound amazing? And in your third session, we're going to go where you hesitate to go, to intensive inner child healing work. And I know you're going to tell me that you don't need to go there, that, you've done your inner child work. You've healed your earliest memories. You've healed the subsequent paradigms and thoughts and behaviour patterns. And maybe you haven't. But let me tell you, there is always more to do there. So we're going to do that healing work. We're going to heal those earliest memories. We're going to heal the subsequent paradigms and thoughts and behaviour patterns. And we're going to reconnect you to your younger self. And we're going to give that child that's within you what they need to feel safe, secure and loved. And this is amazing. This is intensive, transformative work. You're releasing the past at its deepest level, where it actually did the most damage. And you're allowing yourself to find peace. You're allowing yourself to feel free to live and love without shadows and fear. And that benefit doesn't end until you do. And then we have the fourth session, where we use a beautiful, deeply transformational process of anger release and acceptance. And this is a deep hypnosis program designed to release all of that pent-up anger from past relationships, from events, from misunderstandings, from whatever it was. And we're going to replace that anger with love and kindness and joy. And we'll also clear any lingering pain patterns, checking that we've removed all, even the tiniest piece of physical and emotional pain. I don't know, I got stuck there. And you will have the joy of experiencing another lush dreamscape to learn new information and gain more healing from the subconscious. And you will also see how far you've come in your dreamscape, because it will be so different to the first one. In the fifth session, we focus on calling in what you want in this life, who you want to be in this life, with a hypnotherapy process called future life modelling. And this is again another deep hypnosis program that calls in the emotions, the feelings and thoughts that you want to infuse into every cell in your body, imagining the ideal life that you want to live. It's a fun session. And we open the superconscious ability to heighten your intuition, your innate knowing to be in the right place at the right time to make that ideal life happen. And you'll be making conscious choices that serve you. You'll be creating freedom from the past and transforming it into relief. You'll be transforming it into light and energy, self-compassion, love and gratitude. And that is again another beautiful, fabulous session. Because you're learning to trust yourself again. You're going to be inspired. You're going to be open to possibilities and you're ready to commit now. You're ready to commit and to take action to bring those bigger, better things into your life. And in the 6th session, we run the amazing Conclusions program. And it's a final, multi-dimensional, semi-guided dreamscape to gain closure on any and all unfinished business within, whether it's conscious, subconscious, and we're going to gain even more healing from the deep superconscious. This specialized work transforms you into the confident, empowered, joyful, vibrant version of yourself that you always knew was waiting inside of you, just waiting to be released. And you will act, speak and show up differently in life because you will have changed at a fundamentally deep level. So hypnotherapy coaching, Change for Life, the Self-Restorer, is foundational clearing of old programming, priming the subconscious for healing. Releasing the old thought programs and learning new ways of thinking, as well as encouraging new habits of behaviour that are useful, supportive and feel good to you. When you have the intention to clear out all your unhelpful thoughts, feelings and emotions, and you have an effective tool to make it happen, you will change. And your life changes. Amazing things happen for you. This experience feels so gentle, you'll be surprised at how effective it is. And it's deceptively challenging. In the first 6 sessions, we will go deep fast. Right from the start, you will gently, effectively shift how you view old memories. Emotions that held you back and kept you repeating old patterns will be released. You will heal your past without revisiting it. There's no need to pull those memories out and say the words over again. You don't have to remember them. You don't have to repeat them. They're done. Your superconscious is the most powerful part of you, and it knows how to do this once it's directed, without you having to say a word. Because you know, just as my clients did, that you need something that works for you. And you can watch your health completely change, because so much ill health is caused and worsened by stress. And now, instead of stressing your body to the point of illness, you learn to love yourself so much, to love your body so much, that you can heal it. You will start to love yourself totally, all of you, and you'll be easier on yourself when you make mistakes. And this changes everything. Because you are worthy of your own love, and soon you'll know it, and you'll feel it. This is a process of dialoguing with your subconscious to create the right circumstances for change and allowing change to happen at the deepest level of your mind. Your superconscious mind will take you on an amazing healing journey that is absolutely unique. And every journey inside your mind will be different, and every one will be highly relevant to your life. And it will always be exactly what you need right now. Instead of pulling back from making progress, instead of playing smaller than you are, instead of giving away your time and energy, you will be doing the things you want and need to do. You will step up into true inner confidence. Imagine just what you would be doing, what you would be being and having if you had twice as much confidence in yourself and your work. Imagine having twice as much self-belief. Imagine if you trusted yourself and your instincts, how you would show up in your life. I want you to meet another one of my clients. Now, Anne is a nurse and a healer and a writer and was an artist who was carrying a load of repressed emotions from a difficult childhood that had never been processed. And again, running the Change for Life Self-Restorer program, Anne and I were able to regain her emotional balance, clarity of thinking, and freedom from chronic back pain that had been troubling her for years. In her own words, Anne says, "When we started this journey together 5 weeks ago, I was in a great deal of pain and had great difficulty with ambulation for the past 3 years. During this 5 weeks, I have been up and down. By that I mean that I've gone from 0 pain back to my original pain. But each time it seems to correlate with the clearing and releasing of past conflicts, conflict shocks, inner anger, betrayals, disappointments, etc. from not only my own body, but from my ancestors, from generations of non-beneficial energies in their DNA going back perhaps thousands of years, being passed on to me. The good news is that Cynthia has taught me to return to this secret place of mine to deal with it, which is where I am at the present moment. She's helped me greatly to learn to truly love myself, and not to feel strange when I say that, something that was always difficult for me. She has taught me to be strong and brave and ask for what I need. As I've said before, I don't want you to have to go through what I went through. Spending thousands of pounds on books, training, courses, certifications, and more importantly, I don't want you slogging through years and years of hit and miss and trial and error. And spending years, literally years and years, trying to figure out just how to unlock my mind's ability to help me rather than hinder me in life. I don't want that for you. And maybe you think you can't be helped. So did E, F, and M, and N, and all of my other clients, and me. And I can't spell in that one, did you see that? We've all changed for the better. And it's not a miracle. And because it's work, actually. It is hard work. But it's worth it. And you know what? You're worth it. But here's the thing. Change is scary. Even when it's change that we want, our brain, our subconscious mind resists it. And it can sabotage our efforts. And there isn't enough willpower in the world to overcome the power of our subconscious. Do you really want to create a life of joy and ease and expansion? A life where you feel confident and comfortable taking action and making an impact? Are you ready to live your big life? Because you decide. You are always in control. Are you going to stay stuck where you are, being half of who you are, and knowing you're letting yourself down? Or do you choose to make life different, starting today? Do you choose yourself? Do you, just this once, challenge your old thought paradigm about your worth and decide that yes, you are worth it? Because this work is undeniable. You will have a massive experience and you will release pent-up emotions and trauma that is building up inside of you since childhood. I promise you will have the most amazing experience. Because no one knows what the mind is like. No one knows how it operates or even where in the body it's situated. That is an amazing thing about science right now. Mind is the big question they can't answer. They can talk about the brain, but they can't talk about the mind. No one has ever held a mind in their hands. There's so much we don't know, but here's what we do know. You have a head brain, a gut brain, and a heart brain, and they're all equally powerful. Even our individual cells have their own intelligence. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, I know, you weren't taught that in school. And yet, we have been taught to always lead with our head brain, when quite often our gut brain and our heart brain know better. And you know that. It's there in those old saws that people say, like, follow your heart and listen to your gut. You've probably seen this diagram before. That mind iceberg. The conscious mind is the tip of the thing, and yet it's where the we that we most identify with lives. All our hopes and dreams and ideas and plans and ambitions originate in our conscious mind. And yet, it's not what dominates our behaviour and our thinking. That is our subconscious. The part where our emotions are generated, where our fears live. The self-identity that we have generated based on what we learned as children. I prefer this more detailed model, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But first, just look at how much of the subconscious is absorbed information. Not information that you have chosen, information that you've absorbed. You're living a life defined by stuff that isn't even yours. And in my hypnotherapy coaching model, I use all aspects of your mind, your consciousness, to actively retrain your thinking, your subconscious to pinpoint and bring to the fore memories and events that need to be healed. And, sorry about this, that should not have shown up, but it did. And what else have we got here? The superconscious. We love the superconscious because that encompasses all of it, including your higher self. And the superconscious is where we process and release the stuck emotions that have been holding you back. So, yeah, that diagram is fantastic. I love that diagram. Now, here's the thing, and this is something that you probably don't like to think about. But most of us have had less than ideal childhoods. And some of us have had worse than we ever want to talk about. And very few of us want to badmouth our parents because they were doing the best they could. It might not have been very good, but it was actually the best that they could do. However, a child is egocentric. And what that means isn't that they're selfish. It means that every child thinks everything that happens is about them. So if a parent hits or hurts or abuses that child in some way, the child thinks it's their fault. It's their fault that mummy or daddy are hurting them. It's their fault that mummy or daddy have left. It's always the child's fault in the child's mind. The child never blames their parents. They blame themselves. There must be something wrong with me to make my parents act this way. And so we internalise all that anger and fear and sadness because we're not learned how to process those emotions. And they're overwhelming and scary. They're too scary to feel. So we bury them. We bury them deep. And there has never been more in-depth research before or since than the CDC Kaiser ACE study, which clearly demonstrates the link between childhood trauma and adult life difficulties. Now, this is an amazing study, and I can get very evangelical about it. You can read more about the study on my website if you just go to cynthiacurry.uk/ACEs, or you can simply Google the CDC Kaiser ACE study, or just ACE study, and it'll come up. It's an amazing study. Actually, just let me go back to that first of all. And if you do go to that page on my website, it actually will direct you to the original questionnaire that Kaiser used for the study, but it's on the Compassion Prison Project page, and they also have updated the questions for our modern age and have included a lot of the socio-economic factors that Kaiser didn't factor into their questions. And you can also give a donation to CPP, which does amazing work in the US, in prisons, in working with probably the most traumatized people in our society, those folk who are behind bars. So I would go and see that. You can check out where you are on the ACE register, you can check out how many ACEs you have. It's a good thing to do because it helps you realize, as I've said before, this wasn't your fault. And how you feel right now isn't your fault, but it is your responsibility to heal. And your childhood is where the subconscious learns all the patterns of behaviour that have been messing up your life. It's why we have to engage both the subconscious and the superconscious to heal your life. We can't change the past. We can't go back and change the past. But what we can do is release the emotions that are tied to the past. We can release the hooks that we have embedded in the past. We can change the erroneous beliefs tied to those events. The beliefs a child had that you as an adult know are wrong, because you know what happens to a child is never the child's fault. And holding on to those emotions freezes the pain within us. Releasing the sadness, the fear, pain and guilt, the anger, all of those emotions, when you release them, it allows you to free all of that energy. It frees up all of that energy that we've been holding, because we've been using that energy to hold it all inside. And you can release that all and use that energy for your benefit. Imagine giving yourself the unconditional love you maybe never experienced as a child. Giving yourself the words of love and approval and encouragement that you needed to hear then and that you still need to hear. Feel how amazing it could be if you were accepting of all parts of yourself, including those that were judged as too wrong or too much. Maybe you were told you were too loud or too sensitive or too giddy or too bossy. Imagine accepting and loving all of those parts of you, because they're all valuable. Imagine being able to meet your eyes in the mirror and say, I love you. I love you. You're doing your best and it's enough. I am enough, and life always works out perfectly no matter what. I've got this. It worked for me. It worked for EF. It worked for N and M and many more of my clients. Why? Because I use all aspects of your mind to put you back in control. So your life is no longer run by a 4-year-old. And there's so much more than the session work. I started putting together everything I could about making positive changes happen in your life that I couldn't get fitted into session work into a workbook. And in this workbook are all the cognitive, belief-busting, life-changing exercise that I used to go from stressed, really ill and broke to healthy, fit and making a great income, doing work I love, helping people like you. And not only that, there are extra bonuses like hypnotic audios to cement our session work, hypnotic audios that facilitate and deepen that session change work. And you'll also have a personal hypnotic audio made at the end of the 6 weeks to bolster the areas that we decide you need further support with. This program is unique to this program. I can't spell. Did you see that? Unique. Oh my God. None of my previous clients had this amazing resource, and they still manage phenomenal change. So you're getting so much more than E, F, and N, and M, and all my other clients ever have. So let me ask you something. How much has this costed you throughout your life? Has it cost you your health, your relationships, your career, your family? I'm certain that it's costed you maybe not all your happiness, but certainly some of it. And in hard money terms, this will have cost you plenty too. Think of the times that you didn't step up and put yourself forward for a new job or a promotion because you didn't feel good enough. How much have you spent on productivity and time management tools? And how much have you spent on therapy and whatever else? And none of it has ever got close to addressing that core issue. How much time have you lost? Years? Years and years and years? Decades? Isn't it enough? Haven't you had enough yet? So should I stay or should I change? You know what I'm going to say. Haven't you waited long enough to reconnect to your heart and soul? Because nothing you've done before has worked. You're still not happy. You're still not fulfilled. And you're still looking for something to fill that hole inside of you. So are you ready to experience deep healing of your wounds, your grief, your traumas? Are you ready to release unprocessed emotions and memories? To release toxins from cells of your body? To generate greater self-love and more loving relationships? To finally gain emotional balance? Are you ready to feel overwhelming joy? To feel relief from physical pain? To find deep inner peace? To feel massive stress relief and deep relaxation? To feel increased connection to Source or God or the universe, whatever you want to call it? Are you ready to transcend the mind and emotions and support an internal awakening to yourself? If you want to be free and are committed to making it happen, then this is the program for you. If you're ready to break free of old patterns and behaviours, to quiet the internal critic, to feel a massive connection to creativity and confidence, to access expanded states of consciousness, including higher guidance and clarity. It isn't easy to do this work. It's challenging on every level. That's why most people won't do it. But maybe you are different. And maybe you are ready. Having a strong, healthy, empowered way of thinking and being in this world is a long-term proposition. You can't be lazy about it. You have to be willing to consistently work on yourself, to stop those old thoughts and feelings creeping back in, to use the tools and continue to tap into your inner values, to stay grounded, connected, and excited to act in new, empowered ways. This is Change for Life, the Self-Restore, and it's more than a hypnotherapy program. It's a personalised experience where you have access to my mind, my heart, my time, and my energy. I create customised solutions for you based on my 15 plus years experience in neuroscience, mental health research, psychology, personal development, and the world of hypnosis and therapy. I tailor my strategies to your unique needs to create your ideal program. Are you ready? Are you ready to finally learn to love yourself and love your life? Are you ready to think about what you do want in life rather than fixate on what you don't want? So we're getting close to the end of the webinar, so I just want to talk about your special free gift. And your special free gift is a belief busting exercise. You'll get an audio and some of the workbook that will help you change your mind about something that's holding you back. And I am sending you this special gift because I want to thank you for listening. I am truly grateful for your being here. Now, this is an amazing belief busting tool that helps you change a damaging belief that you have, something that's stopping you from achieving something in life. Something that's stopping you from achieving something in life into a belief that empowers you. So it is simple actually, and it's fast, and it's absolutely amazingly effective. And it's yours just for listening to this webinar, because I am so grateful to you for listening. And you'll get it along with the first few pages of this brilliant workbook. Yours free as a thank you for listening. Sorry, my phone's just ringing, so just let me switch that off. That's so appalling. Oh, whoops. So you're going to get this the first few pages of this brilliant workbook, plus the belief buster, and it's yours as a thank you for listening, because I truly am grateful for your being here. So if you're ready to harness the full power of your thoughts, your feelings and actions to create a life you love, you're in the right place. Your personally tailored hypnosis experience begins here. If you're ready to make a commitment to yourself and invest heavily in your emotional growth and personal sense of fulfillment and accomplishment, then I would like to invite you to schedule a hypnotic strategy call. And because you've watched till the end of this webinar, I'll waive the usual fee. During this call, we're going to create a plan to take you from where you currently are, feeling unhappy and maybe unfulfilled, to where you want to be, satisfied and living a life that matters. This is not just hypnotherapy, this is hypnotherapy coaching, and this is Change for Life, the Self-Restorer. And this is not a sales call. During this call, we will put together a strategy for you to develop all of your mind's power to help you live the life you want, living as all of you, because you can't be happy until you are fully restored to all parts of yourself. And at the end of our call, I'll simply ask if you would like my help in implementing the Change for Life Self-Restorer program, so you get your results faster. You'll get your healing going deeper. Your life improves even more than you thought possible. And you can simply answer yes or no. However, because this is intensive one-to-one work, I can only bring on a limited number of clients every month. I can't work with everyone who wants to work with me. And not everyone will want to work with me. And not everyone will, unfortunately, be able to afford one-on-one hypnotherapy coaching. The best thing that can happen is that you love the customized plan that we create, and you want to work with me, and you're able to invest in yourself, and that I have the space for you to join my clients. Taking this call is probably the single most important thing you can do right now to access everything you need to build your life without limits, to release the brakes and set yourself free. Booking this call isn't going to change my life, but it could change yours. Because you do not want to stay in this situation. So go right now to www.thoughtwhispering.com and book your call. Because you know the only thing that's going to stop you? You. You want to know why? Because you're caught in a cage of your own thinking. A cage of iron that's made up of that old identity, those old thoughts and beliefs. But guess what? The cage isn't real. The identity, the thoughts, the beliefs, they aren't true. They are just something that you think. And you can release yourself from all of it. Are you ready to do that? then go now to thoughtwhispering.com, www.thoughtwhispering.com. And I want you to finally meet Elle. Elle came to me because she'd just gone through a horrific divorce. And she was at her lowest ebb. Her self-confidence was shattered. Her life felt over and done. And she couldn't find joy in anything. Going through the Change for Life Self-Restore program, Elle recognised all sorts of trauma and abuse she'd suppressed and hidden for years. And how that had affected her. How it had affected the way she'd shown up at her work and in her marriage. And processing the emotions and meanings she'd attached to those events left Elle free of them for good. She was able to recognise all the wonderful things she had in her life, and the life that she had yet to live. And she wanted it to be filled with love and fun and adventure, and she was no longer scared of life. She loved it. So go now to thoughtwhispering.com, www.thoughtwhispering.com. And thank you. Once again, I just want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. I know that was a long time to sit, and I so appreciate you sitting through it all. And if you really want my help, book your call, www.thoughtwhispering.com. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And whatever you're doing next, I hope it all goes perfectly for you. Bye.